Welcome to the 7th module of the GST 2020 series. Scientifically, it has been proved that if students learn for a shorter duration, their attention span is higher, their ability to understand the concept is also higher, and their ability to reproduce during the exam is at its maximum. So, we have designed this entire GST 2020 series wherein we have 20 modules of just 20 minutes each, wherein we make it easy for the students to understand, retain, and also to help them pass the exams much easier. This is the 7th module and we will cover the topic on exemption to GST. As you are aware, exemption to GST is a very exhaustive list. So we have broken down this into two parts. The first part we have already covered in the 6th module, and the rest of the second half we'll be covering in this 7th module. We will explain this using infographics, videos as well as animation to make it easy for the students to understand and retain during the exams. So here we go.
So friends, let's start this session. We will discuss 4 services in this, followed by an animation which will have few more services. Number first being education services. Before we get into the exemption given, we have to understand which educational institutions are covered under the exemption. The first being schools from the preschool level till HSC or the 12th standard equivalent. Then second being colleges which give degree which is recognized in any law for the time being in force in India. And number C, any approved vocational course either by the central government or any state government. And finally, state boards and central boards are also covered under educational institution for the limited purpose of conducting examination. Now, which are the services which are exempt for all this education institution? We'll go through that. The first being services to students, faculty and staff. These are exempt for all categories of educational institutions that we discussed. Second being entrance exam or examination fees collected for such entrance exam. This is done before a person joins as a student. These are also exempt. Any fees charged for any admission or for conducting any examination is also fully exempt. Now, online educational journals and periodicals, this is exempt only for colleges. Boarding facilities, which is a composite supply including the education, the residence of the student and the food. This is fully exempt for all categories of educational institutions. Then transportation of students, faculty and staff. This is only exempt for schools and not for colleges or vocational courses. Then catering, including the midday meal scheme conducted by the government. This is exempt only for the schools. Finally, any security, cleaning or housekeeping services, it is only exempt for the schools. Next, we look into those services which are taxable. So this is the list of taxable services. We'll run through one by one. Canteen, that's how we discussed. Canteen provided in our midday meal or any catering provided in schools are exempt. Other than that, it is taxable. Then any maintenance provided by any private players to education institution is fully taxable. GST has to be levied. Then any short duration or short-term executive programs conducted by ITs or other institutions, only if there is only a degree recognized by law, those are exempt. Other than that, any other courses provided by such institution, they are not exempted and taxable in GST. There are corporates who come to the campus for hiring employees. They are given certain services by the education institutions and fees is collected. These are also fully taxable. Finally, additional degrees, that those which are not recognized by law. Sometimes they are also clubbed together along with the main course. But if those additional courses are not recognized by law, then they are fully taxable. Friends, moving ahead, let's look into the skill development services. Skill development services provided by National Skill Development Corporation or NSDC are fully exempt. Similarly, any program implemented by NSDC is also exempt. Any assessing body or a training body which is empaneled with the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, their services is also fully exempt. Any training scheme approved by National Skill Development Council is also fully exempt. Any vocational skill development course is also fully exempt. Finally, training under Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana is also fully exempt. So friends, this was all on the exemption given to skill development services. Moving ahead, we'll go to one very crucial subject which is services rendered by the government. Now, services rendered by government, there are both exempt services as well as taxable services. Let's look at them one by one. Also, again, under exempt services, we have subcategorized into three. First being services rendered by government to business entities. All services provided by the government to business entities other than those which are expressly taxable are fully exempt. Second being services to businesses who have a turnover less than 20 lakhs and in special category states less than 10 lakhs are fully exempt. Finally, any service where the amount of the service is less than 5,000 irrespective of whatever it is fully exempt. Moving ahead, services provided by the government to other government departments or agencies. Here again, other than those which are expressly taxable, which will cover under the taxable services, all services are fully exempt, including services provided in terms of granting of loans to banks, services where consideration is received by way of grant. All these services provided by government to other government departments or to other government agencies are fully. Now, other than what we have discussed, there are other services of the government which are also exempt. We'll run through them one by one. The first being old age homes where consideration is paid up to rupees 25,000 per member per month is fully exempt. Then any registration services provided by government for the time being enforced by under any law is fully exempt. Then services of right to use of natural resources to individual farmer is fully exempt. Then issuance of passport, visa, driving license, birth certificate, death certificate, all of these are fully exempt. Then tolerating any non-performance of a contract for which any fine or penalty is levied, those are also fully exempt. Then merchant overtime charges for deputing officers to check the cargo, they are also fully exempt. Then any excess royalty collection contractor on mineral dispatch by mining leaseholders, their services are also fully exempt. So friends, these were the exempt services which are provided by the government. Now, we also have services which are rendered by government but are taxable in nature. So let's run through them quickly one by one. The first being services of the Department of Post, life insurance or any agency. These are fully taxable. Next, any aircraft or a vessel or services provided inside or outside the precedence of any port or airport, they are fully taxable. The third being transportation of goods and passengers. Well, normally these are taxable. However, there are still some exemption which we will cover under the section of transportation of goods and passengers by animation which will follow after this video. Finally, any renting of immobile property done by the government is fully taxable. So friends, this is what we have covered about the exemption given to the services rendered by the government. Moving ahead, we look into the exemption given to services rendered to government. Again, we have those which are exempt and which are those which are not exempt and taxable in nature. The first being exempt services. The first point being services rendered by fair price shop or ration shops under the public distribution system is fully exempt. Then services which are of insurance schemes where the total premium is paid by any of the state governments or the central government or any union territory is fully exempt. Any training program where the cost is borne by either the state government or the central government or any union territory is also fully exempt. Services provided by GST network for the implementation of GST is also fully exempt. Finally, and I would say students to pay very important attention to this. If a supply of services is there or a composite supply of goods and services where the percentage of goods supplied is only 25% of the total value and this is supplied in relation to any of the function which is entrusted to a panchayat or a municipality under the constitution, then such services are fully exempt under GST. So friends, these were the services to the government which are exempt. Now we look into those which are not exempt or that is taxable services. First being any works contract services rendered to government is fully taxable. Other composite supplies where the proportion of goods is more than 25% of the total contract, they are also fully taxable under GST even if they are supplied to government. So friends, with this we cover 4 crucial services which are exempt under GST. Now we'll see more services through animation. So stay tuned.
When I was in school, I was a topper. Today also I had the certificate.
Very good, Dad. I really didn't know about that you got 100 out of 100 in accounts.
If Dad, you got centum in accounts, then why didn't you continue the study?
Because of family issue, I had to leave my village and shift to city for working.
Dad, you too have some dream to do?
Yes, I too have a dream. In my village there was Varmaji. All of them gave lot of respect to him. He was the chartered accountant. I too wanted to become a CA.
Oh, that is very sad, Daddy. But even now you can study.
Now it is very difficult to learn from book at this age.
GST classes had started.
Let's look into the exemption given for leasing services. Number 1, upfront amount called as premium, salami, cost, price, development charges, etc. payable for granting of long-term lease for 30 years or more of industrial plots or plots for development of infrastructure for financial business provided by state government, industrial development corporation or any other entity having 50% or more ownership of central government, state government, union territory to industrial units or developers in any industrial or financial business area. Note, GST exemption on upfront amount is admissible irrespective of whether such upfront amount is payable or paid in one or more installments, provided the amount is determined upfront. Number 2, services of leasing of assets, wagons, coaches, locos by Indian Railways Finance Corporation to Indian Railways. Next, we look into the very interesting topic on exemption on legal services. Legal services rendered to the following are exempt. A. Any person other than business entity. B. Business entity with aggregate turnover up to 20 lakhs in preceding financial year. C. Central government, state government, union territory, local authority, governmental authority or government entity provided by a firm or individual advocate other than a senior advocate to another advocate or partnership firm of advocates providing legal services. Senior advocates are those advocates to whom the Supreme Court or High Court is of the opinion that they deserve such distinction by virtue of their ability, knowledge and experience. Next, let's look into the exemption given to performances by an artist. The following are exempt from GST. A. Performance in folk or classical art forms of music or dance or theatre if consideration charged is up to rupees 1,50,000. B. Training or coaching in any recreational activities relating to arts, culture or sports. Note, the following activities by an artist are not exempt and are taxable in GST. Number 1, performance in other art forms like Western music, dance, performance by actors in films or TV serials, artists in still art that is painting or sculpture. Number 2, services provided by an artist as brand ambassador.
I am wondering that our dad also can learn GST from these online classes.
Hello students, welcome back. I hope you like the animation. Now we just have 3 more subtopics to go with this exemption under GST. Let's quickly run through them one by one. Here you go. So students, let's start with services in relation to right to admission to various events. Well, the first one is entry to any museum, national park, sanctuary, zoo or a tiger reserve is fully exempted. Similarly, entry to any protected monument either by the United Nations or by central government or any state government is fully exempted. Finally, let's look into other events where the ticket value is less than rupees 500 per person. Well, in this there are various subcategories. Let's look into it one by one. Entry to any circus, dance or theatre with ticket value less than 500 rupees is fully exempt. Similarly, award functions, concerts, pageants, musical performances by various artists where the ticket value is less than 500 rupees is fully exempt. Recognized sporting event. We will discuss in detail about this recognized sporting events where the ticket value is less than 500 is also fully exempt. And then any other sporting event with ticket value less than 500 is fully exempt. So what are these recognized sporting events? Well, any recognized sport at district level, state level, zonal level or country level only are included. Events conducted by National Sports Federation, sports events of universities, schools, then of Indian Olympic Association and at Panchayat level, all of them are part of this recognized sport event and they get the exemption. So now you will be thinking about two aspects. Number one, what about the services of the selectors, commentators, curators, technical experts given to such sports body? Well, they are fully taxable, and IPL or similar sports which are not at district level, state level or country level, they are fully taxable. Their entry to IPL is fully taxable. So friends, in summary, this is what is the exemption given to a right to admission to various events under GST. Moving ahead, let's look into one very important aspect, which is services by cooperative societies or non-profit organizations. To make it easy to understand for students, we have split them into two categories. The first category being welfare organizations, wherein there is an activity done for welfare in relation to either agriculture, trade, commerce or industry, any arts, science or literature, or sports or any environment related welfare activities are conducted. So services rendered by such cooperative societies or NPOs to their members is fully exempt if the membership fees is up to ₹1,000 per member per year. If membership fees is more than ₹1,000 per member per year, then it is not exempt under GST. The next type of cooperative society or NPOs are wherein there is a methodology of reimbursement of expenses by the members, or members contribute on a regular basis towards the common expenses of the association. Well, these are again subcategorized into three. The first being trade unions. Any services of trade unions to its members is fully exempt. Second are those cooperative societies or NPOs who are rendering services which are exempt in nature. For example, a cooperative society which is rendering service of giving training to farmers on agricultural activities. Well, we have already seen that any training on agricultural activity is exempt. Therefore, services of such cooperative societies or NPOs to its members is also fully exempt. Next, very, very important thing, and I request students to give a lot of attention to this. In almost all the big cities of India, we have this concept of housing societies or residential complexes. There is a cooperative society for the welfare and maintenance of the residential complexes. Most of these residential societies, they charge their members a monthly fees. Now, if the membership fees or the monthly contribution is up to ₹7,500 per member per month, then the services of such cooperative society or NPOs is fully exempt. Now, there is a question as to what is included in this membership fees. There is a clarification given that contribution towards electricity bill or property tax is not included within the limit of this 7,500 per member per month. So, if there is a contribution towards electricity or towards property tax, you please take it out, and the rest you see within the limit of 7,500 per member per month to see if the housing society gets an exemption. Well, there may be cases where the contribution per member is less than 7,500 per month, but overall the society crosses the minimum threshold limit for registration, which is normally 20 lakhs in most of the states and 10 lakhs in specified states. This will generally happen when there are large housing societies, and this is very common in India. Well, for those housing societies, what they have to do is first they have to obtain registration in GST as they are crossing the threshold limit. However, as their services are exempt, they will not collect or charge GST to the members on their membership fees. There may be situations where the members contribute more than 7,500 per month. In those cases, or the entire amount is taxable under GST. Well, friends, to summarize, this is what you see is the picture of the services of cooperative societies and NPOs and their exemption in GST. So friends, now let's come to the last subtopic of the day. What are the other exempt services? Let's quickly run through them one by one. The first being services in relation to transfer of a business on a going concern basis. Well, in the chapter of supply under GST, we have already saying that if a business is transferred as a going concern basis or a slump sale, it is not considered as a supply at all. Any services in relation to such sale of business as a going concern is also fully exempt. Second is transit cargo to Nepal and Bhutan. Say for example, a trader in Bengaluru is selling goods to Bhutan and it has to go through many checkpoints within India till it finally reaches Bhutan. The entire services of transportation from Bengaluru to Bhutan is fully exempt. Next comes any sort of accommodation, whether it is hotels, lodges, guest houses, or by whatever name called, where the room rent is less than rupees 1,000 per day, it is fully exempt under GST. Next is, we want to talk about motor vehicles on hire. It is very common to see motor vehicles given on hire. The following are exempted. Number one, if the seating capacity is more than 12 passengers, then such hiring activity is fully exempt. Second comes hiring of transport vehicles which are given for transporting goods to a GTA. They are also fully exempt. And finally, any vehicle which is given on hire to a school for transporting students, staff or faculty is also fully exempt under GST. Next, very important, residential dwellings, if they are given on rent for residential purposes only, then they are also fully exempt under GST. It is very common practice that flats are used as offices. Well, though the flats are residential unit, but the purpose is not a residential purpose, then such renting will be taxable under GST and no exemption will be given. Next comes toll charges, that is collection of charges for use of any road or a bridge is fully exempt. Similarly, any annuity payment in relation to a road or a bridge is also fully exempt. Next comes electricity transmission or distribution by a electricity transmission or a distribution utility only, then they are fully exempt. Not only is the electricity exempt, but also additional services which are mentioned over here, like application fees, meter rental charges, testing, labor charges, or any charges in relation to producing duplicate bill to the customers. Services in relation to food samples, whether it is to do with licensing, registering, or testing, is also fully exempt. Services in relation to news by an independent journalist, PTI or UNI, are also fully exempt. Then services in relation to providing information under RTI Act is also fully exempt. Services of public libraries to the extent of lending of books or publications are also fully exempt. Services of foreign diplomatic mission in India. They give various services like visa services, consular access, or even facilitating large business deals. They are all fully exempt. Then services of an organizer of a business exhibition outside India, they are also fully exempt. Services of a slaughterhouse in nature of slaughtering of animals is also fully exempt. Finally, services of incubating in relation to a startup up to a turnover of rupees 50 lakhs is fully exempt. But two conditions has to be satisfied. Condition number one, the turnover of such incubating in the last financial year should not exceed 50 lakhs. And number two, 3 years should not have elapsed from the date of entering into an agreement as an incubating. Well, friends, with this, we come to the conclusion of all the services which are exempt under GST.
I think you would have been able to understand the exemption under GST in a very easy manner. Well, it is a very big challenge to remember such a big list. So, to make things easier, what we are going to do is in our 10th module, which is going to be the third module from now, we have a revision of the 6th and the 7th module using pick charts. Yes, it's a slightly a new concept where we have the entire flow charts made out of pictures so that you are able to retain and recollect it better during examination, as well as we'll have MCQs. And in our pick chart and MCQs, we'll also do video tagging. Now, what is this video tagging? We will also mention the video number and the minutes number where if you want to go and understand the concept again, you can easily do it without have to search the entire video and waste your time. So friends, the next two topics are going to be very, very important, which is going to be time of supply and value of supply. And we are going to present this with lot of case studies and examples to make it very easy. So see you soon in the 8th module on time of supply. Till then, if you have any question or a query, you can type that in the comment box and give it to us, and we'll be glad to answer your queries. Till then, I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye.